here is I want to talk with you about New Year's resolution. Now, you wrote an amazing piece, and I invite every one of our listeners to go look for that piece. And that in that piece, you talk about, the problem with resolution is that, making a resolution is easy. Keeping the resolution is the hard part. So, and you give some tips that I love, and it's funny. I wish I would have read that article before. One of the tips you give is about take a word, right, for the whole year. And that's the word you're going to use for the year. My word for 2020, it was health. So my health got so affected during 2017 because of Hurricanes Irma and Maria. And I had so much, so many claims and so much work that it took me up to 2020 to actually get it back.
Wow.
So, and that was my word all over, but I never thought about it. This year, my word is growth. And I encourage everyone, once they listen to you, choose a word. And I want you to talk to us a little bit about that. New Year's resolution. We want to have the best year ever, no matter what, comes to us.
That's right. That's right. Well, I wrote that because I'm one of those people, I think most people have the best of intentions. So when you're right around the new year, especially closing out a year like 2020, yikes, right? Everybody's like, bring on 2021, right? You're all right. And you're in that heady glow of like, oh, hope and this, and I'm going to be better me in every way. And you make these resolutions like, like let's lose the COVID-19, right? Let's lose those pounds. Let's do this or whatever it is. But, research shows that we're just kind of setting ourselves up to fail because by February, typically sooner, people, they fall off the wagon and then you end up feeling crappy, which is, why would you do that to yourself? So,
you feel it's a failure. That's what's happened. So,
I stopped making resolutions a long time ago, and I had 3 things in that article, but that one that you said about picking a word to guide you, I personally have done this for the last several years, and it forces you to really have clarity on what matters most to you moving forward. You can do that by looking back, like you said, like going, oh my gosh, my health suffered in this. I can't do anything until I have this. So that's great that you sat down and went, okay, that's it. For me, I mean, sometimes it's just fun stuff. Sometimes it's not. So in the past, one of my words was badass. Now that's an adjective, right? So, but to me, it's, what does that represent? For me, that was about being fearless, right? And for so long, I hid behind sort of businessy Amy when in fact, creative Amy needed to be there. And when you're in your zone, when you just feel that sort of thing. And for me, it was like, I feel badass. And I used it. I forget which year it was. It was in the past several, but so much so that my friends came to call me Badass Blaschka. My mother she'd see, like, there's a book by Jen Sincero called You're a Badass. She took a picture and my mom texted me the picture. And then, for my birthday, awesome. My sisters got me a little like necklace that said badass and it was just really, it was not to be sort of snarky, but it was about feeling a certain way. And for me, that represented being fearless. And so everything that I did, I just would have that reminder. And I said, I'm a visual person. So that word front and center in my office. Every day I saw that. So it'd remind me, that I had that. And I think that's really important is whatever word you choose, let that be your guide. So this year, my word is illuminate, right?
Nice.
And for me, that's quite a visual word too, isn't it? So to me, it has several meanings, right? So obviously you're shining a light, which I love to do for other people. You can light a path for someone. It also is about clarity, right? Illuminating someone's like, like it's suddenly there. So those are all positive things. Yes. But the idea is you pick a word to guide you for the year. You have to get clear on what matters most to you. And then more importantly, you use that word as sort of your North Star and you sort of align your activities, the people you associate with, whatever. So everything supports that, right? And it becomes this sort of litmus test that, okay, does this illuminate and make me kind of go in that direction or does it not? And pretty soon you're like, no, it doesn't, or yes, it does. That's so right. More of that, less of the stuff that doesn't. So it's, I think for me too, what was really helpful in having a word wasn't just keeping it to myself. It was sharing it with somebody, sharing it publicly, sharing it with your family, sharing it, for me, like literally making a visual and having it in front of me, having it on my phone, using it again and again and again. It becomes this sort of theme and rally cry for you for that year ahead. And, I mean, no one's perfect, but if you start to veer off course from it, you can always come back.
Yes.
And, so that's, I think, a way better alternative than making some resolutions that you'll end up feeling crappy about. So this can help you sort of stay on track. So that was